right, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin the show then with some news coming in from the digital payments ecosystem. Well, UPI transactions have seen an 8% month-on-month increase in volume to 16.73 billion in December. In fact, this is the highest volume for digital payments since it became operational in April of 2016. In fact, not just in terms of size, but the value of these digital payments has also increased by 8% to reach 23.25 trillion rupees, and which is actually up from 21.55 trillion in the month of November. But what about volume terms? Well, I'm not going to give everything away, so let's go across to my colleague Sharad, who's joining us with more details. Sharad.
Well, it's 2024 was the year of financialization, and UPI had very strong numbers. Now, interestingly, the December numbers are also out, in which the UPI transactions went up as 8% up on a year-on-year basis when it comes to value as well as volume. Now, the transactions have been mind-boggling, coming in at roughly 16.73 billion transactions with a total amount of 23.25 lakh crore. That's a huge amount, and the numbers from the UPI has been very strong. In terms of the yearly growth also, the numbers, if you look at it, they are 39% and 28% up on a year-to-year basis as per the NPCI data. Also, the daily averages, the December averages stood at 540 million daily transactions worth 74,990 crore rupees. And also, for the November numbers, it was almost 516 million at 71,840 crore rupees. So the volumes, value, all have been increasing when it comes to the UPI. But now let's look at what the market share says. The market leader is PhonePe with a 48% market share in the UPI industries, followed by Google Pay at 37% and Paytm at 7%. Now, interestingly, the deadline for the market capping has actually become extended, coming in for the next 2 years itself, giving a relief to the larger share players as well. Now, interestingly, the global reach for UPI payments is concerned, that's very important, and the UPI payments are being accepted in 7 countries in the world, which includes Bhutan, Mauritius, Nepal, Singapore, Sri Lanka and France. Now, as per the media reports also, NPCI is working to expand in Qatar, Thailand and the broader Southeast Asian economy.
All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, let's shift our focus to the EV ecosystem. And sources tell ET now that Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal is all set to meet EV players tomorrow. There will be discussions to increase focus on EV charging infrastructure. There will be officials from Road Transport Ministry. But let's go across to my colleague Sumit Chaturvedi, who's getting us exclusive details on the story.
Indian Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal is going to meet EV players, officials from other ministries, including Minister of Road Transport and Highways and Energy and Petroleum. The focus is going to be on increasing charging infrastructure for electric vehicles in India. We know that electric vehicle sales have risen over the last few years, but the charging infrastructure has clearly not kept the pace with it. So that is going to be the main focus of this meeting. If we talk about electric vehicles, well, the sales are in a downslide over the last few months. The discounts are going up. However, on the other hand, electric vehicle players are bringing more and more electric vehicles. Well, Maruti is coming with one such vehicle this January. Hyundai is coming with Creta. Even two-wheeler players are coming in a big way. But discounts are also rising because the demand is coming down as well. One of the biggest reasons for coming down of demand is the lack of charging infra, which is not as wide as expected across the country. So this meeting is going to address that particular issue of increasing charging infrastructure footprint across the country.
And let's shift our focus on the other big story we're tracking right here from the startup ecosystem. Well, Ola Electric sales have hit the lowest in 27 months as Bajaj Auto overtook the newly listed pure-play e-scooter firm to become India's top EV maker. Now, replacing Ola is Bajaj Auto, which has become India's largest EV maker for the month of December 2024. Aishwarya Patil, my colleague, has more details on where Ola now stacks up. Remember, because the company has seen a lot of controversy with respect to its customer complaints, and of course there's been government intervention as well. So Aishwarya, where does this now put Ola Electric's growth path then?
Well, 2024 has been a good year in terms of performance for Ola Electric. But if you take a look at the December EV sales, Bajaj and TVS Motors, the legacy players, have been topping the list. And as far as 2025 is concerned, it seems like they could have oats for the rest of the year in 2025. first, let's take a look at the chart. Bajaj Auto tops the list with about 18,035 EV registrations in the month of December. TVS Motors is on the second spot, closing nearing about 17,000 EV registrations. Ola Electric, on the other hand, is at the third spot with 13,569 EV registrations, and Ather is the last one at 10,300 almost as far as their December EV registrations are concerned. But on a year-over-year basis and the full year of 2024, Ola Electric has been topping the list with about 4 lakh EV registrations. So it may have performed badly in December, but its overall yearly sales has been quite huge at 4 lakh, with TVS Motors at 2 lakh, almost half of it. Bajaj Auto about 1 lakh 26,000 EV registrations, and Hero MotoCorp with just 43,700, just nearing 50,000 registrations for the year of 2024. So for the year of 2024, Ola has performed really well, but December seems to be tepid for it. Now, some of the reasons, of course, it has been shrouded in controversy in the year of 2024. A whole lot of complaints on long service hours. CCPA, which is the Consumer Protection Authority, has also alleged violation of consumer rights, unfair business practices, as well as misleading ads, which were a few of the reasons why it was scrutinized. And also consumer confidence dropped, probably one of the reasons why they see a drop in sales in December as well. And a show cause notice was also issued by the CCPA to Ola Electric. Despite that, they do have big plans for 2025. They have ramped up 3,200 more stores or experience centers across the country, which was just about 800 up until now. And they also plan to kickstart 2025 with a focus on lightweight commuter bikes going forward. So we'll see how the year of 2025 pans out for Ola Electric.
In fact, speaking of India's electric vehicle market, in 2024, the market experienced remarkable growth with sales surpassing 18 lakh units by November, and that reflected a 31% increase as compared to the previous year. Now, the two-wheeler segment led this surge primarily, and that was driven by strong consumer adoption, including in rural areas, and that despite the fact that there were subsidies. Now, initiatives like the PM e-Drive and FAME subsidy schemes, along with launch of new EV models by major EV makers or automakers, have actually made EVs more accessible. Now, the EV industry's expansion is also, let's not forget, supported by a robust policy framework. You have stakeholders emphasizing the need for improved charging infrastructure and, of course, further policy support. So let's take a look at this report.
India's electric vehicle market witnessed significant growth in 2024. According to government data, over 18 lakh EVs were sold between January and November 2024, marking a 31% increase over the previous year. The electric two-wheeler segment was the primary driver of this growth, with electric scooters, motorcycles and mopeds accounting for 60% of total EV sales.
If you talk about EV per se, overall performance has been satisfactory for the entire year of calendar year of 2024. If we talk about specifically related to two-wheeler segment, it's been very encouraging. The way the consumers are actually adopting to the new technology across India, especially even in the rural segment, it's very encouraging to see, irrespective of the price, because if we see from FAME 1 to FAME 3 and now with the PM e-Drive, the subsidy, the support which the central government is giving, that support has tremendously come down, but still the rate at which the people are accepting the EV, especially in two-wheeler segment, that's very encouraging for the industry as per se.
Various government initiatives including PM e-Drive, PM e-Bus Seva and the faster adoption and manufacturing of electric and hybrid vehicles or FAME subsidy schemes played a crucial role in promoting electric mobility. FAME provides subsidies for electric two-wheelers, three-wheelers and other EVs.
As far as the support is concerned, I believe the new PM e-Drive policy has probably, it's a well drawn policy if you talk about. So the support from the government is clearly well defined. It is written. All the stakeholders, they know what exactly they're supposed to do to claim that support from the government. And there's a lot of focus as far as the development of infrastructure is concerned in the new PME drive policy, which probably in long term, if you talk about, if we have a good robust network or a charging infrastructure across our length and breadth of our country, I think 100% the adoption for the EV would be much faster in coming years.
Major automakers including Tata, Mahindra and Hyundai launched new EV models in 2024, resulting in competitive pricing, making EVs more accessible to consumers. The electric two-wheeler segment witnessed remarkable growth in 2024, with sales crossing the 1 million mark for the first time. Ola Electric led the market with a 37% share, selling over 392,000 vehicles till November. TVS and Bajaj Auto followed closely with a market share of 23.55% and 22.59% respectively. Industry leaders are also urging the Indian government to prioritize electric vehicles, reduce GST on batteries and implement a battery swapping policy to accelerate EV adoption and make them more affordable for consumers.
We expect from the government is they should reduce the GST on batteries and they should come up with a battery swapping policy. These are the two very important links which are required for this industry to grow. Battery as a service, battery swapping, and like the GST on the battery, lithium-ion battery should be reduced so that we can cater to the masses and the penetration becomes much more easier.
Looking ahead to 2025, analysts anticipate further growth in the EV market. Maruti Suzuki and Toyota are set to introduce their first electric vehicles, while Hyundai plans to launch its most affordable electric SUVs yet.
If you just go back by 2 months, this particular segment was hovering around 7,000, 7,500 vehicles per month. Now, with the launch of one single vehicle from a particular manufacturer, this has gone beyond 10,000. So that's the strength that you have when you give a choice to the consumers in this particular segment. They will actually adopt this technology also. And once we have the mass segment brands like Maruti and Hyundai joining the brand with the EV segment, I'm 100% sure it's going to double the growth for next year. So we are expecting, today we are sitting at close to what, 3%, 3.5% as far as the EV penetration is concerned. Month-wise, I'm talking about, not talking about year-end. Year-end, if you talk, it would be close to 2.5%. Next year, I think we should be closing around 5.5% to even 6% as far as the total EV penetration is concerned.
Some of the most anticipated EV launches in 2025 include the Maruti EV Tara, Hyundai Creta EV, Tata Harrier EV, and Mahindra XUV 400 EV.
And ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, at least one person was killed and several wounded when a Tesla Cybertruck exploded outside a hotel that belonged to the United States President-elect Donald Trump in Las Vegas. According to investigators, firework mortars and camp fuel canisters were found stuffed into the back of the Tesla Cybertruck that exploded. In fact, Tesla CEO Elon Musk has termed the blast as an act of terrorism and has in fact denied any link to any Tesla malfunction. He said that he's never seen anything like this. The cause of the fire is still unknown. However, he's gone on to link the blast to the New Orleans attack. He said that both the Tesla Cybertruck and the one used in New Orleans were rented from the same company. But according to Biden, for now, no link has been established, like I said, even as the probe in this matter continues. And with that, it's time for us to slip into a quick break. But after the break, we get you an exclusive interaction with PB Fintech's management and growth outlook for the company in 2025. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Startup Central with me, Sumita Karir, and of course, putting the spotlight on PB Fintech, which is on fire after the top boss reiterated that 30% growth outlook is what the company is seeing for the next 5 years. We caught up with Yashish Daya. He lays out the roadmap for the company's healthcare investments in an exclusive chat. Mr. Daya spoke on business outlook for the company 2025, regulatory tailwinds that will enable that kind of business, and general insurance price hike and its impact on demand. Let's take a look at that exclusive interaction.
No, when I speak of growth, I only talk about the core business growth, always. I never include the new business growth in that. And I've been quite consistent in that for the multitude of years.
If the business or the core business is growing at 30%, then what happens to the advantage of operating leverage? Will operating leverage start kicking in more and more like it has kicked in last couple of quarters? Because at 30%, your fixed cost is going to remain constant and benefits of operating leverage will start kicking in. So will we see incremental benefits of that kicking in every quarter?
Yes, without a doubt. But all I wanted to say was that's not the objective right now. I've always said we are like a 16, 17-year-old, which is what we are. And what that means is we are just a company that's, or a student that's just about to finish school and go into college. We are nowhere close to being in a job. And even if we were in a job, we are in the first 5 years of the job. We are not in a position. So typically, if you look at a human being's career, parents put in money, then the human being, gets into a job, then builds a career. And at some point, they also start making significant money, right? And so we are nowhere near that point where we are trying to profit maximize. We are at this point trying to become stronger, learn more, grow faster. That is really where we are. And I've again been very consistent on that. That said, profits will come. They are, because as a business, we haven't done unprofitable business. And so what that implies is every time I do a transaction, we do make some money. And that money is only adding up as we do more and more transactions. And yes, our fixed costs will and should always stay lower than fixed cost growth should stay much lower than our revenue growth. And even in the revenue, we should have some leverage because as we get further down the years, the brand confidence increases, our people's confidence increases, the conversion rates improve, and we have been seeing all of that.
You have one non-core business, which is Paisabazaar, where you've invested. And the second one is a investment in a healthcare venture where you're looking at expanding. Could we be looking at more news on new investments in non-core businesses from PB Fintech this year?
I don't think you would hear more news, but you would see hopefully some action on the healthcare side. On Paisabazaar, the entire credit and unsecured lending area has tightened a bit. So Paisabazaar has effectively started a new business in secured, which did not exist. The good news is secured is picking up, and secured in terms of overall disbursals has now overtaken the unsecured part. But the unsecured has taken a big hit. And also in secured, you make much lower margins. I would say, but it's remarkable that within 1 year, the secured business has built up. And so I feel confident about that area.